Hey everyone, Matthew Kent. Welcome to Theology on the Ground, the daily thought for my quiet time. Today, James chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. Here we go. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. So I'll stop there and then we'll come back to verse 17. So the bottom line there is that it's the boasting that's wrong. So it's not wrong to make plans, but the first part that is being laid out is there's a certain humility that's needed, right? So, it's saying, woe to those who say, tomorrow we will do this. And it's saying, well, you should be saying, if the Lord wills, then tomorrow we'll do this or this. Now, what's interesting is in both cases, somebody planned out their own course, right? And this is part of what it means to walk by faith, not by sight. We have wisdom and revelation from God as to what his will is in general, but most of us don't have special revelation from God as to what his will is in particular for us. And so, as beings created in his image, we need to walk by faith, not by sight. We don't know exactly what God would have us do, but we know in general what he likes, what glorifies him, and then we seek to do those things, and we make decisions about it, and we are humble and submit to the Lord. Lord, here's what I think you're calling me to do. If this is your will, please let me go through with it. Now, like I said, it goes down and it says, as it is, you boast in your arrogance. So the people who say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, period, God does not approve of that. God says, well, you don't know how long I'm going to let you live on the earth, because ultimately I'm the one that decides, your life is a gift. You don't deserve it. You haven't earned it. And God says, it's something that I am giving you right now, but I get to decide how long I give you this good gift for. And so it's sort of arrogant to say, well, okay, this is all under my control. And that leads you into verse 17. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, it is sin. Now, in one sense, this is sort of a theological statement, right? And so we're talking about the difference between sins of commission and sins of omission. Normally, when we think about sin, we think of sins of commission. We do things that we ought not have done. We lie when we shouldn't have lied, etc. There's also sins of omission, where we failed to do the right thing for whatever reason, from laziness or selfishness or whatever the reason might be. There was something good clearly set out for us to do, one of the good works, if you will, that God prepared beforehand for us to walk in, as Ephesians 2:10 would say, and instead of doing it, we did not. So that would be a sin of omission, and there's sins of both omission and commission. But in the context of James here, this is not a theological statement, just, oh, hey, just so you know, if you know the right thing to do and don't do it, you're sinning. That's a true statement, but that's not why he's saying it. The reason he's saying it is then to provide guidance into, well, then how do you plan for the future? How do you tackle what you will and won't do? And there's he had just gotten done with the point about boasting and arrogance in your planning. And then so there's this certain humility to knowing what the will of God is in general, what things are good and not good, and then when you have the opportunity to do good, pursuing that and doing that. So in other words, the answer that he's giving here is, yes, planning is okay, but it shouldn't be this arrogant planning of, I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. It should be like, I don't know exactly what the Lord has in store for me, but I think I see the right thing to do, and so I'm going to proceed forth in faith and do it. Of course, Romans says that whatever doesn't proceed from faith is sin. So I see what I think is the right thing to do based on what I know about God, what I know about his revealed will. And so I'm going to do that. And if you fail to do that, it's actually then sin. So there needs to be a certain acknowledgement of God and of his provision in order for you to carry out your plans. There needs to be an acknowledgement of God's will in general, because your ultimate aim should be to glorify God. And then as you see the right thing to do, whether it's to be generous with your finances or to help somebody in need by offering, your service or helping them do something. I had some friends, very grateful for, came and they helped me. There's a tree that fell because of the hurricane in my backyard on my shed, and they came with a chainsaw, helped me take it down. Incredibly grateful for that. So if you know the right thing to do, helping somebody in that respect, giving some money, just sitting there and listening to somebody in need without offering suggestions, you need to do that. And if you fail to do that, knowing that it was the right thing, it's sin. So you need to acknowledge the Lord. You need to follow your conscience, not quite your heart, but your conscience. And that is sort of the plan, according to the Bible, for making plans. So there you go. Those are my thoughts from today. And I've been obeying the scripture to a certain extent in my sign-offs recently, and I'm going to continue that today, where I say, Lord willing, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya.